I used to do what people wanted me to do. Now I do what I want to do, and that's making toys right now.
Louis Barker has always wanted to make toys, but it wasn't until his later years that he could stick to strictly toys.
I used to make furniture for a living. People came to me then, just word of mouth.
Building permits are up sharply in most markets, and that's going to take the pressure off of existing home prices. They're going to start pounding nails and sawing boards here. They're already doing it, but more so.
It's a time-consuming process.
He pounds away like a musician beating on a drum. But Don Pelchik isn't making beautiful music. He's creating unique pieces of art.
It usually increases probably by about 30% in the summer alone.
But what is it about the heat that can play a part in tires going boom? Mensch says most incidents are caused by a combination of heat and low air pressure. A man brought in this car to Mensch's shop on Tuesday. He realized he had a slow leak in one tire. Turns out there was a screw lodged in it, and the driver made the right decision by taking no chances.
Oh no, that's dangerous business, really. Because it can go on down, you can really have a serious problem.
A problem you want to avoid.
Last year, it was an issue that was screaming for some attention. But unfortunately, it turns out that even a presidential campaign has done very little to wipe away the problem.
Hey, I'm just going to clean your legs, okay?
And the bottom line is, Texas kids are still going without their shots.
Called about an ad in the paper for employment to the Postal Service. Read $48,000 a year.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All these problems with dogs doesn't sour carriers on animals.
I love animals. I have 2 dogs at home. You know, just keep them in the backyard and protect the carrier.
The Postal Service says a little consideration can save you, your pet, and a letter carrier a lot of grief.
Know if you were doing anything I needed.
A simple staircase on the east side leading to a simple factory manufacturing the most complex musical instruments ever made.
Every organ builder that is truly an organ builder has to know chemistry, physics, architecture, woodworking, metalworking, electricity, music.
What we're planning to do is use an elementary school or 2 elementary schools as a catch basin, go in and give a 40-minute class to each of the children in that school.
We have jalapeno tamales, we have our regular tamales, bean tamales, homemade, handmade chicken tamales.
Tamales, it's a tradition, as you well know, for many, many years. I don't know how far back it goes, but tamales are all over the world, different types for different regions of the world. We really do a little bit different on our tamale. We don't go into a lot of filling into our product. We will cook corn versus using a powdered corn. We choose to use the process of cooking our own, grinding our own, and then we, of course, mix our certain spices and blends into the masa. The masa's then prepared and put into a hopper, next to a hopper with the meat, and then we machine make the tamales, or we hand make tamales.
What would a picnic be without a barbecue?
Dilley, of course, is in the middle of a large agricultural area. However, locals say there's been a disappointing watermelon harvest this year due to the unseasonable heat.
Don't worry, we still got a lot of stuff to do. That's why I'm kind of want to make sure that you get to see your test.
There's no daydreaming in this class.
Tune in here, please. I'm a taskmaster.
The 49 minutes
Come on.
Are packed with learning.
Now, what if I put another point right here? I do have high expectations, but don't forget, tomorrow after the test, guess what? Another assignment, so don't procrastinate.
Unfortunately, it happened right at the beginning of our biggest month.
So at a time when they're normally cleaning up on profits, many tubing outfitters here are finding themselves cleaning up the mess instead. For some, The job is finally drawing to a close.
We're ready to go right now.
And there is already quite a caseload to be considered, just since the beginning of this year.
About 433 cases, right around there.
On patrol for animal abusers.
This is my office.
San Antonio's only cruelty investigator, Officer Rudy Davila, is now looking forward to the promise of greater protection and tougher prosecution.
Armed with scissors and a comb, Snow Wynn attacks the rough edges to trim off the unwelcome length.
But she said that a gentleman comes in here and sells her, or gives her the CDs. She sells them.
While Deputy Albert Martinez was cataloging the confiscated items,
inside this warehouse in East Austin is a world of despair. And it's selling like crazy. Despair.com makes parodies of motivational posters.
Motivational posters.
Founded by 3 young .com dropouts, Despair.com is solely an online company. You won't find these posters at the mall. Mediocrity. It takes a lot less time, and most people won't notice the difference until it's too late. The company is up to $2 million in sales a year.
All right, you come to a foot entanglement, rocks, logs, things like that.
this is preparation for war.
2 steps.
For the traps of the jungle and the obstacle courses in rough terrain.
Medical personnel try to prepare themselves to be in a safe environment, provide safety for themselves, as well as being able to provide medical treatment for any casualties or anything of any type of contingencies.
This 2-day field training course is mandatory.
He relates well to children because in many ways he's still a kid himself. But last October, Gary Osborne realized that he had a very adult problem on his hands.
If you've got credit problems and you've got a history that has some negative items in it, you're going to wind up paying high interest rates, whether you do it to an individual business or to a loan company.
I'll be using 3 needles on her. 1 for the eyebrows, 1 for the eyeliner, and 1 for her eyeshadow.
On paper, the message is simple. 13,000 letters mailed out telling parents that they now have the legal right to ask that their child be allowed to switch high schools. On camera, the message is a little bit different.
Our street was never intended to have that type of load.
The 500 block of Canton Street on the east side used to be a quiet residential street until the SBC Center moved in, and Houston Street, 1 block away, was closed for a massive improvement project.
His innovative idea of capturing and processing rainwater is finding a niche in an ever-growing bottled water industry.
It's a very big industry, and a lot of it is driven by the perception.
Well, apparently the son had enough.
47-year-old Encarnacion Ponce was airlifted to University Hospital. Investigators say he was shot in the head by his 16-year-old son.
And part of their care includes dishing out hundreds of pounds of food. It's a task that everyone agrees can be overwhelming.
The 4th person was trapped.
Rescue crews worked to save the 42-year-old man, but before they could get to him, the rescue mission turned into a recovery operation.
And this adds to that problem.
Right now, it's not illegal to simply put your old TV on the curb. A bill supported by Texas-based Dell Computers forces manufacturers to create a product return program when their product no longer performs. Dell has partnered with Goodwill Industries, who, through their San Antonio computer store, took in more than 60,000 used computers last year.
And of course, it gave us, the opportunity to provide jobs for people.
At South Texas Veterinary Specialist, Dr. Stacy Randall administers chemotherapy to about 25 dogs like Cisco every week.
What do you think of that? That's a TV camera. You didn't know you're going to be special, did you? All the drugs are the same drugs that we use in people.
A cancer survivor herself, Dr. Randall uses the same drugs used to treat her to treat animals.
I know, we're almost done.
Cancer is the leading cause of death in dogs over the age of 2. The Cure Canine Cancer website.
At 12 feet long, 18 inches wide, this active honeycomb gives a whole new meaning to home sweet home. Nothing technical here, just a bottle of soapy spray, a far-reaching rod, and a faithful prayer to the master beekeeper himself.
Lord, don't let us get stung.
I wish we weren't sitting on the back of that creek.
This morning, they weren't on the bank. They were in the middle of Whitman Branch Creek, just like dozens of other businesses.
We had to take all the bottom shelves off. We lost all of that merchandise right there.
Will you come and stand right here, please?
A Kodak moment was necessary.
And face the camera up here.
Visitors knew this was a snapshot in time.
Uno, dos, tres.
A rare moment to see this much water inside a cave.
Because of all the recent rains we've had, the aquifer has risen into the lower part of the cavern system.
For 114 years, the business of manufacturing cigars at Finks on Veracruz has been rolling along just fine.
A lot of the cigars that are made here are the real inexpensive types, Swisher Sweet or a King Edward or brands like that people are familiar with.
And over the years, as dozens of San Antonio cigar manufacturers seem to go up in smoke, Finks is still here with a fire under their business, the only manufacturer in the nation still doing all tobacco cigars. But now there's a proposal in the Senate about a substantial increase on the tobacco tax. The current tax on cigars is 4.8 cents per cigar. The new law would push the maximum tax on one cigar to $10.
It is absolutely outrageous. The proposal is a 53% tax of our selling price of the products that we manufacture.
Finch's next option would be to box up his family-based company and move it overseas. But for now, he'll see what happens once the smoke clears.
It's hard to think about after 114 years, Finks Cigar Company not being in San Antonio, but there's just no way we could survive it.
Bridget Smith, KENS 5, Eyewitness News.